internet. So this was probably one of the most requested videos ever since I dropped my The Real Women's March happened in Germany, because a day later a video came out promoting this movement, and everybody that has seen that video was asking me to make a video about this movement. I'm not gonna go into too much details about this topic in general. I'm just gonna link the videos that I've done so far, because otherwise we're just running in circles. So the thing that I'm talking about is a hashtag/movement called 120 or 120 decibels. It is a German movement that was created by women to bring attention to sexual assaults committed by immigrants. Like I said, I'm not gonna go too much into statistics here because I've done an extensive video on that already. So if you are already triggered, please watch that video before you go into some, weird tantrums in the comment section. Okay. The reason why I'm making this video is because this movement has been ignored by the media and by MeToo as well. If you Google 120 decibels, you get 0 articles. And if you look at any MeToo websites or social medias, they do not mention that at all. However, sexual assaults and harassment have been ongoing issues since 2015. This graph alone shows you that before 2014/15, there have been around 600 reported sexual assaults, and that number jumped up to 3,000 in years later on. Most of these so-called refugees are not even from Syria, as most people would assume. Now, there has been another protest in Cottbus just recently in a very small city, and over 3,000 people showed up. I think that is about 5th or 6th protest this year alone, which tells you that something isn't right in Germany and in Europe in general. But why is this not being mentioned by MeToo movement? When you read their statement, our goal in 2018 is to reframe and expand the global conversation around sexual violence to speak to the needs of a broader spectrum of survivors: young people, queer, trans, and disabled folks, black women and girls, and all communities of color. We want perpetrators to be held accountable, and we want strategies implanted to sustain long-term systemic change. Now, I don't understand this philosophy of Me Too, because celebrities got their stories heard, they got their voices, their covers of magazines. Now they are being called the silence breakers and I don't know what not, when in reality, come on, we all know what's been going on in Hollywood over the past 30 years. Why are we shocked in 2017 and 2018 is beyond my mind. However, leaving that aside, do these women not deserve to have their voices heard? These sexual assaults that are usually reported or not even reported are very, very different. Not to categorize things, but these people, they come from a different culture. They come from a different background where woman is not respected. In Afghanistan alone, they have a gang rape game called Taharush. I don't know how to pronounce that. But it translates to collective harassment, and that is the kind of game that they were playing on that New Year's Eve, because there was a lot of people, a lot of groups of men who surrounded one woman and, started doing their thing. For example, Lara Logan was the first one, I think, so far who came forward many years ago, because she's a reporter that was in Middle East and was reporting from those areas, and she is a survivor of this game. A lot of these immigrants are also from Afghanistan and from the countries that are not currently in the war zone. And these are the kind of cultures that they bring. These sexual assaults have usually the most sadistic executions you could possibly see, and in most cases the victim ends up dead. So that's a little different. But yeah, Me Too is not gonna talk about that, because it clashes with their, social justice warriorism. And that is the reason why women in Germany and in Europe have had enough. Just in the past few years alone, we have cases like Maria. The guy ended up crying in court saying how this will destroy his life, and how when he saw her, he just wanted to have sex with her. you know, he just needed to have sex with her. Then we have a case of 15-year-old. This was actually when everybody in Germany had enough. Even the migrant worker in refugee migrant camp died in the hands of one of the migrants who pretended to be a child, and they later on discovered that he is at least 23 years old. And a lot of these guys are actually pretending to be teenage boys and are in the same camps as teenage boys, when in reality some of them are 33, but who is gonna prove that? They have no identification and nobody checks anyway. Then we have the most bizarre case of a girl in England while being assaulted saying to the guy, also a migrant, "I'm a virgin," and he told her that she can't be a virgin because she's white. Or a mother of 4 that was murdered by a kebab place because the guy was in love with her. And you know, shit happens. So he, you know, attacked her with a machete. Or the cousins. Alright, I just want to pause here real quick. I left out a lot of details that are pretty gore, so I don't want to include them in this video. Not because demonetization, I know this video is gonna get demonetized within a few seconds, but because some of them are really hard to read and hear and even word. And there have been many more cases, and I didn't want to include all of them because this video would be 7 hours long, but I will link all of the links in the description bar, and I will link the Twitter accounts that do reports on these cases. And if you are interested, you can also Google it and search it for yourself and see how vast this actually is. I just wanted to throw in a few examples just for, you know, to get the gist of it. Okay, continue. There have been reports of teenage girls who were followed around the shopping center, first by 2 Afghan males, 19 and 26, and then afterwards, 30 other migrants started following them, taking pictures and saying things, but luckily other people interfered and nothing happened. And media is not helping either. Titles like, "Can Europe's new xenophobes reshape the continent?" and "From Poland to Austria and Hungary, a new nationalism and hostility to migrants are rife. What does the spread of illiberalism mean for the rest of the Europe?" Or Arab refugees march in German city hit by far-right protests, saying that just because there was 2 stabbings of Syrian teenagers, not all Syrians are the same. But that's exactly the problem. It's not one occurrence. No, it's a crime by immigrants rose by 50% in 1 year. Sexual assaults went from 600 to 3,000 per year. Those countries that took large amounts of immigrants have been battling crime ever since. Why? Because even Germany and the rest of the local media admits that it's hard to find a job as an immigrant, as a refugee, mainly because of language barrier and not enough primary, let alone secondary education. And I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, but their countries don't give a crap about their own citizens, so who's gonna help them? But that's the problem. It's not like Europe took some of them and is trying to help some of them and is equally dividing help between citizens and refugees. No. They did it in a large bang, especially Germany and France and Italy and God knows what other country. Now we have repercussions, like after 27 sexual assault reports, Swedish music festival replaced with man-free event in 2018. Even though police handed out bracelets and the bracelets said, "Don't grope." There are signs next to swimming pools now with clear instructions saying that, you know, touching women is a no-no. Pools are being segregated because there was so many sexual assaults and groping. Music festivals are being cancelled. There was a safe space, safe zone for women on New Year's Eve at multiple carnivals. That is not normal. And MeToo is not gonna talk about that, even though this video has over 100,000 views in just little less than 2 weeks. And Scotland as well is afraid of the same results. I mean, the philosophy of Nicola Sturgeon is bizarre because she's saying that there should be even more immigrants accepted into Scotland, and that free trade cannot come without free movement, and that moving around the countries is just the perfect way to have the free trade because, you know, citizens don't fucking matter. Pardon my French, but this is bizarre, and it's just, no. Women's rights always end somewhere. And women supporting other women always ends somewhere. The fact is that what's happening in Europe is not normal. It is not normal, and it hasn't been normal for almost 3 years now. And we're still at the point where a lot of people just avoid talking about it. And frankly, I kind of understand them. Because these videos bring, as much as the message is spread around, they also bring a tremendous amount of backlash towards anybody that's talking about it, including numerous harassments on all social media about how I used to be a nice girl and now I'm just this alt-right racist who's racist. And I know it's an uncomfortable topic, and I know it sucks, but it's the truth. And any idiot on this planet will know that I'm not talking about all refugees. And I'm not talking about even all economic immigrants either. Because most of these refugees are economic immigrants, but you know details. But for the percentage of population that they represent now in all European cities, they account for a lot of crimes. Anyway, yeah, spread this video around as much as you can, and while you're at it, subscribe to my channel. And that'll be it. Stay awesome, stay positive, I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video.